Welcome to Micro Terrors. Scary stories for kids, where it's always the spooky season, full of chills, thrills, and spine-tingling spooks. Micro Terrors are family-friendly frights for those ages 8 and up. And while our stories are for younger ears, we are still talking about things that go bump in the night, and some children may not be able to handle what others can. Parental consent is recommended. Now, for tonight's Micro Terror.
The Malicious Mirror by Gary Brand. Narrated by Darren Marlar. Oliver was absolutely convinced his reflection was up to no good. Every time he stood in front of a mirror, he could feel the unease. It wasn't just that his reflection copied him, it almost felt like it was thinking for itself. Sometimes, when he moved, his reflection seemed just a tiny bit slow to follow, like it had to remember what to do. Other times, when he smiled, his reflection's grin looked too big, and his eyes too wide, like it was keeping a secret. He would tilt his head quickly, trying to catch it acting strange, but it always seemed perfectly normal, except for those moments, just before he blinked, when he could have sworn he saw something different. "I'm watching you," Oliver whispered, squinting at the mirror. His reflection stared back, still and quiet. Maybe it was just his imagination, or maybe, just maybe, the reflection was watching him, too. One chilly morning, Oliver shuffled into the bathroom, half asleep, to brush his teeth. As he scrubbed away, he accidentally knocked over a glass of water, splashing it all over the bathroom mirror. "Great!" he groaned, grabbing a towel to wipe it off. But as he reached up to clean the mirror, something extraordinary happened. His reflection's hand shot out from the glass and grabbed his wrist. Before Oliver could scream, the reflection yanked him forward. The world swirled and shimmered, and when it settled, Oliver found himself still in what was his bathroom, but everything seemed wrong with where things were placed. He immediately realized he was inside the mirror. He banged on the glass, but his reflection was already grinning back at him, now on the other side. "Hey, let me out!" Oliver shouted, but his voice didn't carry through the glass. The young boy realized that there was no sound inside the mirror universe. The reflection smirked and waved before strutting off to enjoy its newfound freedom. Inside the mirror world, everything was strange. Oliver could see the real world, but he couldn't control his body anymore. Instead, he was forced to mimic every move his reflection made, whether he wanted to or not. He was now a controlled copy of himself. At first, the reflection played it cool, pretending to be Oliver. But as soon as he got to school, the trouble began. The reflection spilled milk on a classmate during lunch, tied someone's shoelaces together in gym class, and even let out a fake scream during a math quiz, causing chaos in the classroom. The real Oliver could only watch in horror, trapped behind the glass of every shiny surface. The reflection's pranks grew worse as the day went on. During art class, it swapped out the teacher's cup of coffee for a jar of dirty paint water, causing her to spit it out in front of the whole class. In science class, it secretly unscrewed the lid of a vinegar bottle, causing it to spill all over the experiment table. At recess, it stole a soccer ball and kicked it high into the branches of a tree, leaving the other kids angry and confused. By lunchtime, the reflection had managed to put gum on the teacher's chair, earning Oliver a stern lecture and an additional detention slip. "This isn't fair!" Oliver cried within the mirror, but no one could hear him. He spent the entire day copying the reflection's every move, powerless to stop the trouble it was causing. By the time school ended, the reflection had racked up so many detentions that Oliver was sure he'd never see the light of day again. But as the reflection walked home, it spotted a girl standing next to a puddle on the sidewalk. Her name was Sophie, one of Oliver's best friends. The reflection's eyes gleamed with mischief. It crouched down, ready to leap into the puddle and splash Sophie from head to toe. "Don't do it!" Oliver shouted, though he knew the reflection couldn't hear him. Even if it did, he was convinced it would do the prank regardless. The reflection jumped, and that's when Oliver realized his chance. As the reflection landed in the puddle, water splashed everywhere. Within the mirror universe, Oliver looked down and saw his reflection standing in the reflective water below him. In an instant, Oliver knelt down onto the puddle and reached out from the mirror world. Before his reflection was even aware of what was happening, the real boy grabbed the reflection's ankles and pulled with all his might. The reflection's smug expression turned to shock as it was yanked back into the mirror. With a pop, Oliver was back in the real world, soaking wet but free. He looked up at Sophie, who was staring at him, wet and confused. I'm so sorry," Oliver said, helping her dry off the water. That wasn't me. Well, it was, but it wasn't really me. It's a long story." Sophie raised an eyebrow but smiled. "You're weird, Oliver, but thanks for apologizing." As the boy walked home, he passed by a few mirrors on the buildings and glanced nervously at his reflection. For the first time, it looked just like him. No smirking, no lingering glances. Still, just to be safe, he decided to steer clear of puddles and keep his mirrors squeaky dry at home from then on. That night, as he got ready for bed, Oliver looked at himself in the bathroom mirror and said, "I'm watching you." His reflection winked back.
Thank you for listening to Micro Terrors. Join us each Saturday for another scary story. For more fun, visit our website at microterrors.com, where you can get the latest Micro Terrors news, read fun facts about each story, sign up for our monthly newsletter, and even send in your own scary story for us to tell. Plus, you can become one of the terrified by joining the fan club at microterrors.com to enjoy exclusive perks like reading stories a week early, receiving complimentary books, and communicating directly with Micro Terrors writer and creator Scott Donnelly. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram using the handle @MicroTerrors. I hope you'll join us again soon for Micro Terrors, scary stories for kids.